Hi, everyone. It's good to see you all here.
So wouldn't that be a good thing to tell people, that there's all these thousands of people coming out to support a candidate that supports a peaceful message about sharing information and getting out there and working for your community? Isn't that a good narrative to be putting out there? But instead, all we've been getting the last 3 months is this negative, racist narrative of Donald Trump. And non-stop coverage of this. And you really have to ask yourself the question, why? Why are we receiving this narrative so strongly? What is the end goal here? This begs the question, why would people with power in this country be okay with a xenophobic racist as president of the United States? That's really the question we have to ask ourselves when we look at the mainstream media right now. They've been giving him, we used to have a thing in this country called the fairness doctrine, where if any candidate appeared on television, his opponent had to get equal time. We didn't see that at all in this election cycle. And it's a sham when you consider the amount of time Trump has gotten versus the amount of time Bernie Sanders has gotten. That's indicative of something poisonous and really unhealthy for a democracy. We're putting out a narrative that seems to be motivated by ratings and salacious entertainment. Oh, he's just joking. He's just a comedian. He's just a TV personality. Bullshit. He's a dangerous person.
Voter suppression and news suppression have to go together because you gotta keep it quiet, right? And by the way, one thing about the term voter suppression, when someone hijacks your car, it's not car suppression. Someone hijacks your vote. Okay, you can use the term suppression. I call it thievery. This is the new thing. Double voters, people voting. According to Donald Trump, there are people voting many, many times. Multiple voters. You go to jail for 5 years. Have you arrested anyone, Donald? Have your minions arrested anyone? No. But the Secretary of State of Kansas, Catherine Harris of 2016, a guy named Chris Cohen, he's created a list of suspected double voters in 29 states, almost all of them, interestingly, GOP-controlled election systems. 29 states. And what they've done is that they've found people by matching the voting records who voted twice. You know how many suspects there are for this felony crime? 7,200,000 people on their suspect list who will all be subject to losing their vote by November. We figure 1 million votes by November. They already removed 41,000 in the swing state of Virginia. Who? They wouldn't give me the list because they're criminals. And you can't get the list of criminal suspects in the middle of an FBI investigation. But I got him in. Little birdie gave it. So wait, and I'll show you some of this. I have like about 3 million names, including, here's a good one for you. Here's by the way, the worst double voter in America is some guy named Jose Hernandez. And the worst female multiple voter is named Maria Hernandez. Okay, like for example, right here, Maria. I feel like Joe McCarthy saying, I've got documents here, but I really do. So this guy will vouch for me. See, Maria Isabel Hernandez. Maria Isabel Hernandez is supposed to be the same voter as Maria Cristina Hernandez. Now, Maria Cristina and Maria Isabel are both going to lose their votes because supposedly it's the same person who voted twice. What's their evidence? First name, last name. Who has same first name, last name? What's the legacy of slavery? A lot of people named James Brown and Michael Jackson. What is the legacy? What is our story? What is our story of immigration in the United States? A lot of people named Leanne Rodriguez Hernandez. Okay? Now, that's what's happening in America.
And
I'm going to just add one final...
You said that as well, because the same thing in the Asian community. How many
and by the
names?
way, this is the first time that they have gone after the Asian community. We're working with Asian Americans advancing justice because Asians have suddenly, when they get in the voting booth, they turn black. 75% of Asians now vote Democratic. I don't give a damn about electing some damn Democrat, but I do care about counting the votes, and I'm gonna want to tell you why, something special. I'm an alum from here too. I went 1/4 before things went wrong. But I come from a place that's about 12 million miles from here, called Pacoima, Sun Valley. I grew up right next to the sewage, between the sewage plant and the garbage dump. And that's why I'm here and why I had to go to London to tell the story of the people, of the people I grew up with. And if you survived Vietnam and you came back, the last thing they're going to let you do is vote. And that's my story. And that's why I'm here. And that's why I'm making this film. And that's why we're going to tell the truth on them, no matter how much they try to suppress the suppression news. Thank you very much.
Greg, you are a dynamo, and I've seen you out there doing your thing, and Tim's getting flack for it, but it's like there is serious election fraud happening. And to have your journalism there behind it to really point the finger and say it's not just now. We're not just decrying it now because we're whiny babies and we want our president, and we want our candidate to win. No, this is a serious problem when you're talking about a campaign and a situation where, when you're talking about big oil, when you're talking about money in politics, what you're talking about is a lot of people who have a lot of power and a lot of influence, and they're wielding it, but they also have a lot of money, and that money comes from profiting, oftentimes off of people's suffering. From the private prison complex to environmental injustices to deportation centers and detention centers to, it's just to think that they would draw the line and stop at the point of messing with an election is just naive. And this has been going on for many, many years, and it's happening all around the world, and it's time for us to wisen up, and I think we are a very wise generation because we get to look back on the slavery movement, and we get to look back on the suffragette movement, and we get to look at the environmental movement, and we get to look back and go, no, this isn't the same thing as McGovern or Nader or any of those different things, because we have a perspective. We're on the other side of the other century. And we're putting all of that into context, and we remember and we recognize that even though you want us to just think the meme of Martin Luther King doing that beautiful I Have a Dream speech, that was all like coordinated and perfectly done. No, that was a tremendous act of civil disobedience. It was a distortion. It is what we're seeing right now with Black Lives Matter going, I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna be loud and I'm gonna be aggressive and I'm gonna make sure that you film me, because for some reason in the Baltimore riots, you'll film a CVS burning and play that 24/7 because you just wanna make everyone seem like they're just angry and not actually talk about what they're angry about. And this generation is online, and we're talking to each other, and we're sending each other messages, and we have people who have journalistic integrity who are pushing those messages out even though they're unpopular. And we have people who are willing to put themselves and their careers on the line and go, this is important. And if you want to say you want to boycott me over it, then fine. But this is bigger than me. This is about all of us. We're talking, we're connecting, we are going, yes, net neutrality is going to be an issue after this election because people are not happy that we're still talking to each other and still organizing. This is what the fight must go on, no matter what. That is the answer.